Hello. At Burris Logistics, we use planning poker when we're sizing our user stories. The difference between relative sizing and sizing based on time estimates, it's much harder estimating by time. Estimates don't have to be accurate when you're relatively sizing them. They just need to be consistent. And velocity will correct the inaccuracies in estimates. As you go through sprint after sprint after sprint, you'll start becoming more accurate in your velocity and more accurate in your estimating. You can also triangulate by looking at a bigger and a smaller story than the story you're sizing. This one's an 8, this one's a 3. It's in between that, so it must be a 5. And we will use the Fibonacci method, which is a common method in relative sizing. Story points can be anything the team wants them to be. They consistently use the same measuring scale. You can use t-shirt size, dogs, jelly beans, ice cream treats, whatever. As you're sizing stories, that is a banana split or that is a kitty cone. The team will decide what they want to use in story pointing. For this training, we're going to use our dogs here at Burris as our story points. And we're going to use the extended Fibonacci. The Fibonacci is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding. The simplest series is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 20, and we'll explain the 20. The reason for using the Fibonacci sequence is to reflect the inherent uncertainties in estimating larger items. Planning poker is very effective backlog estimation technique, and the most common method is using the Fibonacci numbers. This was made popular by Mike Cohn. The extended Fibonacci is easier to use for teams that are new to estimating. Planning poker, each person on the team, each estimator gets a deck of cards, and the moderator reads a story. Questions drill down on the user story to help with estimating. Once there's no more questions, no more drilling down, we've pretty much got what this story it's going to take to make this story. You turn over a card. The high and low card get the soapbox. They discuss why they thought it was so much lower or so much higher than the general consensus. And then after the discussion, we turn cards over again. Are we there yet? We're trying to get to consensus or start again. And consensus doesn't mean everybody agrees. It just means that people aren't flat out disagreeing. Things to consider when sizing. When we look at sizing a user story, we look at 5 areas: complexity, risk, implementation, deployment, and interdependencies. For each one of those items, we look at the complexity on the user interface, complexity on the logic, complexity on the data requirements, complexity on integration, complexity on testing requirements, and the team's capabilities and knowledge. And then we'll look at the next one, risk, and go back through user interface, business logic, data requirements, integration. And we'll go through for each one of these, the complexity, risk, implementation, deployment, and interdependencies. We will look individually at each of these items. So let's play some poker. Here's our cards. We got Baxter, the Frenchies, Freddie, Sammy, Tally, Barbosa, Calypso, Maximilian, Fenway, Heme, Big Dog Frank, and then the affinity one is you think that this is so much bigger than an epic that there's no way we can size it until it's broken down more. The question card is you really aren't understanding, you really don't get it. You feel like you need more information, and the coffee break is I need a break, because this can be a long process if it's done correctly. So we're going to play the IT Agile Soup Project. The Agile Soup Project is IT has been tasked with making and serving a soup for the entire Milford facility. There needs to be enough soup to satisfy everyone's individual needs is the goal. And there are 76 team members, of which you can count on 70 being on site. So now we have the project and we have our goals. The next step is determining our personas, the people that we're developing this soup for. We have the Burr's Big Eater. I can put a lot of food away. I will always go back for at least seconds, probably thirds. Hey, is there enough for me to take home? I like a big bowl and a spoon. If it piles, all the better. Burr's Vegan. I don't want animals hurt in the making of this meal. I don't eat butter, milk, egg, cheese, or any other thing that normal people eat. I am a real buzzkill. The Burr's Pansy. I can't even handle mild salsa. I would never go out for Indian food or Mexican. Black pepper can make things too spicy if you use too much. The Burr's Carnivore. Where is the beef? And I mean plenty of it. It is a snack, not a meal if meat is not included. A crappy snack at that. I need beef or pork. I will take poultry if that's the best you can do. The Burr's High Maintenance Eater. I will not come when you call me to eat. I show up way late and pout when all the good stuff is gone. I will want you to help me put together something from what you have left. I will give you a bad review if there isn't enough for me. The Burr's Healthy Eater. I am the rarest of Burr's eaters. Actually, I may even be close to extinction. I want a healthy, low-calorie soup with some healthy crackers that taste like cardboard. I will shy away from any soup made from a cream-based, full of carbs or cheese. I am almost as big as a buzzkill as a Burr's Vegan. So then we get our backlog of user stories in priority. The highest priority story is the top of the backlog. The lowest priority story is at the bottom. As an eater of the soup, I want it served hot so that it is satisfying. As an eater of the soup, I want utensils to eat with so that I don't have to drink it out of the pot. As an eater of the soup, I want some bread to go along with the soup so I have something to chew. As a big eater of IT Agile Team soup, I want a hearty soup so that it will fill me up. As a Burr's Carnivore, I want soup chock full of meat so that my protein needs are full. As a Pansy eater, I want the soup to be on the bland side so that it's not too spicy for me and others can add the spices they need. As a Burr's Vegan, I want the soup to have no animal parts so that I don't kill any beings to eat. As a healthy eater, I want a soup that is low calorie and good for me so that I can keep healthy. So then each story would go through and size those stories. For some final thoughts, resizing as you go will help you get better at it. If you've sized a story as a 3, and it became much more complex during the sprint than it really was an 8. If the team discusses that and talks about how they missed it, your sizing can get better. Affinity sizing can help as well. If you put all the stories in a line, smallest to largest that you've done, and you completed this one and it was an 8, you completed this one and it's a 3, and you're looking at this new story, where does it fit in on your timeline or your sizing line of past stories? Hopefully this will help you. Thank you.